Hey devs, you are listening to Bilal Amjad, a Microsoft certified professional, and we are going to talk about layouts in UWP. Today's lesson is not about designing a user interface. It is all about the design options, the layout options we have before designing a layout. As we know that Universal Windows Project supports different sizes of devices and different kinds of devices. That can be IoT device, that can be your Windows Phone, Windows Store app, or that can be your Xbox or Surface app. Now, you must know all the designing layouts, which means you must know the options you have to make a responsive UI. So UWP provides you three different kind of layouts. One is fluid layout. Fluid layout is not responsible of adjusting the control size, its height or width according to the size of your screen or resolution or the depth of pixels. It only squeezes or expands your control according to the size of your windows. Alright, but if you want some controls to appear on Windows Phone and to disappear on Windows, and if you want to enlarge or large some controls on Windows Phone but not on Windows Store app, this will be handled by the second option provided to you, which is called the adaptive or responsive layouts. We assign some visual state managers, we assign some visual states to perform this functionality. The third option is known as tailored option. You either develop or you either design different XAML files for different kinds of devices in your application. So this approach is known as tailored option. So now let's move towards developing our application using different layout controls we have in UWP. So I assume that you are familiar with Visual Studio environment, you know how to create a new project. I have already created a project to save the time with the name layout controls. You can create your own by yourself, because I'm not going to tell you or teach you how you can create a new project if you are going to develop a Windows Universal project. So before proceeding toward the development, I would recommend you that if you haven't viewed my Hello World UWP project, then please view that video first, so that you get familiar with how we are and what approaches we are using in developing UWP projects. So here is my main page, and here's a grid. Now grid is a layout control that can be used in fluid layouts. Grid has different kinds of options available to you to set the rows and definitions. Now grid provides you different rows and columns property, so that you can add as many rows and columns to your screen and fit some controls according to the rows and columns. So how you can add rows and columns? uh, I will tell you both ways. There are there's a one shortcut. You can just go to your screen. I will save it all. Okay, all right. So for example, this is the page, and this is actually the screen of 5 inches font supporting 920 to 1080 pixels. Now I have to add a row. How will I add the rows? Rows are basically vertically on your screen. So I'm adding different rows just by doing this. And if you want to add a column, you can add that too. Now you can adjust your columns and rows like this. Now this was a shortcut, but if I tell you the code, if I show you the code, you can see that this code have been generated by a shortcut. Alright, but I will recommend you to write your code yourself, so that you may get familiar with the grid control. So now I will place a button inside any of the box which is appearing on your screen. For example, I have added a button. I will say grid dot. It should have third row and it should have second column. and the content of. So you can see it is appearing right here. Third row means actually the fourth row, because the index of the grid starts from the 0, 0, 1, 2 and 3. Similarly 0, 1, 2, so 3 by 2, your button is here. Alright, so if you want your button to be expanded to the very next column or the 2 column next, you can assign row span or column span here like this. See, but it is not expanding because its size is adjusting inside the box. So I will give it a width of 100, sorry, 200. Now it is expanding to the next column, but what if I remove the column span? It will not expand to the next column, it will trim itself, if you can see. Now if I again assign it a column span, it will expand to the next column. Similarly, you can assign the row span. So this is how you can add grids to your layout. Now I'm removing a grid, and let's see what a stack panel do. So I'm going to add a stack panel, and I'm adding a button. Content is button 1, background is red, and foreground is equal to white. So I'm copying this. So as you can see that on if I build this project on the screen, you will see that stack panel will add the controls, and all the controls are placed one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, with no margins, with just they are placing into the next line, you can say. So this is called vertical alignment of a stack panel. You can place these elements one after another by changing the orientation, which can be horizontal. So now they are in the center of the screen with one after another like this. So what if you want to align themselves one by one line each, but you want them to appear on the center of the screen? You can assign the center alignment or right alignment, any kind of alignment, to any kind of XAML control by vertical alignment property and horizontal alignment property. Now they will appear on the center of your screen one by one by one, like this. So this was the stack panel, which is also used for designing fluid layouts. Now I'm, if I want to design a desktop app of 13.3 inches screen which supports 1280 to 720 resolution, what I will do, I will just I will change the size of my device, and the designer will show me the workplace according to my size. Now we are going to see how we can add Visual State Manager, which can adjust itself according to different sizes. This is the this functionality have been added to UWP only, which is very useful, because if you are designing an application which have to be run on Windows Phone or Xbox, and as well as on desktop environment, so you can assign different appearance to every device. How? uh, just Let me design a simple login screen. So I'm just going to change the background color of the grid so that I may design a simple login screen. I say background color is light blue. Alright, now, okay, I'm going to add a stack panel. I say the stack panel must appear on the center of the screen. Alright, I'm going to add a text box asking for a username, and I give a hint or a placeholder like john@anydomain.com, and I give another password box for a password, asking for password, and placeholder says different stats. I'm going to add a button which is horizontally aligned to the right, which has background. I say has a red background and foreground is white, and it says sign in. I'm going to assign margin or padding that it should have the distance of 10 from its from the near controls. So if I build this application and I have used fluid layout, the screen will be like this something. So you can see that in the fluid layout, controls are expanding according to the input. See, you can see the password like this. These are the default properties of the text box. Alright, so when I will collapse it, or it will adjust according to the screen resolution, but this is a fluid layer, this is not an adaptive layout. What if I want that if the size is less than 700, this screen should appear like this, and if the size is greater than 700 pixels, I want this tag panel having these controls to disappear. So let me give a name to my stack panel like this. So, so under the grid control, I will add visual state manager, and I will assign some visual state groups to this state manager. I will say that this visual state group belongs to UWP or Windows Phone. So, and in the very next line, you will define your visual state. For example, I say narrow. You will add visual state triggers, and these state triggers have a trigger known as adaptive trigger. Alright, so I will say that the minimum width should be 700, and what should it do when the minimum width is less than 700? Is also minimum width is 700 or greater than 700? I will say that visual state setters. In the setter, you will set your functionality like setter target. My target control is the name of my stack panel and its visibility property, and I say its value is collapsed. That stack panel will collapse or is minimum width is 700 or greater than 700. Alright, now if I build my application, you will see there is no stack because it is hidden. It will, as my screen resolution is greater than 700. That's why that stack panel is collapsed. What if I have but as soon as less down my screen, or squeeze my screen, it will be appearing, it will appear like this. Sorry. Or so let me do something more with this control. I say if the minimum width is 700, its orientation, stack panel orientation, should be horizontal instead of vertical, and I will give a vertical orientation by default to the stack panel. Like, as you can see that the controls are vertically aligned, but as soon it is greater than 700, they align themselves horizontally. So this is known as adaptive or responsive layouts. Now, a very useful control which have been added to the Windows UWP projects in Visual Studio is adaptive layout. Let me remove all these state managers because we are not going to use them. So now let's talk about a very useful control which have been recently added to UWP project and is known as relative panel. This control is very interesting in terms of designing layout, because unlike grid where we are assigning a column and a row, now we can adjust our controls on the basis of another control. For example, I say that my relative panel should appear on the center of screen in the same way. Now I will add a button. I say that green button. Okay, this green button say hello, I am green, and the name of this button or the ID is green button. Alright, say that its background is green and foreground is white. So now I'm going to add another button, and I say that this is red button. Hello, I am red, and the background is red. So I'm going to add another button which is you say that is a yellow button. Its background is yellow and it says hello, I am yellow. So as you can see that they are being, let me change the size of my screen. So as you can see that they are being overlapped one by one. If I add another button, it will overlap all other buttons. So if I want to align my red button under the green button, I will say that relative panel dot under, oh sorry, below green button. Okay, and if I want my yellow button to be on the right side of my relative panel, and I will say that right of green button. Or if you want your red button to be on the left of the green button, so you can use this property. So I will align it on below the green button. So this is how you can adjust your controls according to the relative property of UWP control, which is also known as relative panel. So then you can adjust your things or material according to another element. No need to assign any grid, no need to assign any kind of stack panel, no need to assign any kind of control. Just use the relative panel and it will adjust itself according to the relativity of another control. So this is the new control panel added to the layout control family of Windows Universal Project, the relative panel. And we have also talked about Visual State Manager, which is used to control the responsiveness of any layout. So that was all about the layout controls available in UWP. You can explore them, and if you have any kind of question, you can visit my website www.bilalamj.net, or you can email at mail@bilalamj.net. Any kind of question, you can contact me on the description given on the screen and as well as on the description. Your questions will be appreciated, and you are most welcome to ask any kind of query. Thank you for watching this video and happy coding.